Life is one of the heaviest beings that one can try to support. It is known to go through storms, heavy winds, and downpours. But you are built to stand and not collapse. I challenge you to grow out of your comfort zone. The biggest giant that you will ever face in life is your mindset. One of the biggest things that limit us and keep us defeated is the opinion that we have of ourselves. When I changed my mind, it changed my life. I didn't just survive, I bounced back better. I bounced back better. Bounce 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 back better.
You're now listening to Life Structure with Eric.
The Life Structuring with Eric podcast is a platform created to give the necessary tools to anyone that needs structure in their life, a blueprint to build a better version of yourself. Welcome to the Life Structuring with Eric podcast. I am your host, Eric. Welcome to the show. Happy Tuesday. Take the time to share this out. Share it out. Contact your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers. Tell them to jump on. I had another topic that I wanted to tackle today, but I had a loyal listener send me a message and asked me to discuss environments, the type of environments that we live in. So when I seen that, I just wanted to be loyal and, try to fulfill their wishes. They sent an email in, which this is the first time I've ever gotten received an email with someone throwing a topic at me. So, hey, if you guys have any type of topic that you would like to have discussed, definitely send me a message, drop me a message, send it to my inbox, send me an email, and I'll be happy to tackle that discussion. But question, are you living in a healthy environment or is it a mental hazard? That's great. That's a good one. Are you living in a healthy environment or is it a mental hazard? Is it, toxic to your mindset? It's very important that we are living in a healthy environment. One that basically nourishes you for growth, one that brings positivity and keeps your purpose alive. And it's very important that you are surrounded by individuals that can add value to your life. As whether you are a success or failure in life has little to do with your circumstances, but more than anything, it has a lot to do with your choices. A lot of times, we make choices, that plants us in environments that will lead to mentally draining us, bad choices in relationships, bad financial decisions, bad eating habits that lead us to living unhealthy lives, being in unhealthy places and thinking it's okay to drink uncontrollably or use drugs. I could go on, but I'm sure you get where I'm trying to go with this. I have a good friend, newfound friend. I call her my cousin, Sherry Brown. She has a journal. It's called Prayer Closet Chronicles. And, I ordered that journal, and, her brand is the Winning Women's Lifestyle, and I basically ordered the journal for myself. And, once I started working through the journal, I started to see that it's kind of aimed at women, but I just cross that lady out every time I see it. I just cross it out, and I just proceed to, go on and work myself, through, through the journal. But anyway, she talks about how some relationships are good for a season, but then how they expire. And there comes a time in our life that it's important that we clear out the clutter. It's mandatory for us to take away the hazardous issues in our life in order to add value. We must always leave room in our environment for growth. And I I heard this story. I'm not sure if you've ever heard it or not, but it's a Japanese artist who painted a picture on a large canvas, and down in the corner was a tree, and on the limbs of the tree were some birds, and the rest of the canvas was bare. And basically, someone asked him, when he did, a live showing, he did a showing of his artwork, and someone asked him, was he going to paint anything to fill the rest of the canvas? And he said, oh no, because basically I have to leave room for the birds to fly. And that's one of the things for us. If we're in an area in our life that it doesn't allow us to fly, it doesn't allow us to grow, it's time for us to get out of that environment that we're in and move on to an environment, an atmosphere around people, places, or things that can add value to our lives, to help us grow. One of the most important things about being in an environment that will help us grow and give us room to fly, uh, we have to be able to develop that habit and be basically disciplined at challenging ourselves. If we're in an environment that's not challenging to us, then we're definitely in the wrong environment. And a lot of times, it's not all about being in a toxic environment. Sometimes you can be in like a leadership role. You can be in a class, and if you're the smartest person in that leadership role, you're the smartest person in that class, then you need to get out of that. You need to always be in a class that's challenging you, that's adding value to you, a class that you can find, you will be able to acquire new skills so you can see yourself grow. So basically, what type of people are in healthy environments, Eric? Thank you for asking. People with integrity, people who are positive, not people that's always got something going on. You sometimes we're connected to people that don't have not one positive word that will ever roll off of their tongue. We have to be connected to people that's ahead of us, people who lift us up instead of knock us down. So, so many people go through things in life, and you will hear from them, I don't need nobody. I don't need nobody but Jesus. I totally understand it, because sometimes nobody else is going to be around us but Jesus. But I disagree with you saying you don't need nobody but Jesus. When we're on this growth journey, we all need someone that can hold us accountable, a partner, someone that can stick with us, to help us stick to making those positive decisions. When we are growing out of an unhealthy situation, we cannot go through this process alone. We have to have someone to help us reach our full potential. There will always be someone trying to pull you back, into that unhealthy situation that we kind of grew out of. And what are you going to do when you don't have someone to hold you accountable, and that temptation comes and they're trying to pull you back into that unhealthy environment? That guy, that lady, that man that you finally found the strength to part ways with, and then you're lonely, and here comes that phone call, and here comes that text message, and they know your soft spot, and they're tugging and tugging and tugging. But if you have that accountability partner, they have helped to give you the tools, that you can go to, in these trying times. So we have, for me, it's great. And you have to partner with someone that can help add value to you. You quickly assist you in realizing the value that your life holds. Because a lot of times we overlook our value for people that have no value. But when you have that accountability partner, someone that can pull you up and show you the value that you hold in your life, it's a beautiful thing. And once you start to realize your value, you will become allergic to those environments that will depreciate your value. You will learn to live around people that add value to you. I was watching a good friend of mine, Latasha Horton. She's a guest. She was a guest on my podcast a few months ago. I did an interview with her, and I was watching the interview she did with the Real Talk Kim, and she was talking about how people see you and handle you differently when they see your value. See, when people are up, when people are up to no good and they're living in a hazardous situation, they stay clear of you because they see you operating differently when you rise above those tainted environments. And people see your value, they appreciate and respect you. And one of the things that she said that was a wow moment for me, she gave this illustration of her, she was boarding the plane and she took her seat and she sit down and she was looking out the window, watching the guys load the luggage on the aircraft. And she said they were just slinging the bags on the belt that led to the aircraft and just throwing the bags. And then they grabbed a cart of bags that, she could clearly tell, and I guess they also could tell these were very expensive bags, and they handled them totally different because they saw the value in the bags. They saw the value, so they handled them differently. And that's one of the things with us in life. When words flow out of our mouth and people can take in the value of the words that we speak, when we walk into a room and we walk into that room with integrity, when you just smile at someone sometimes, or you in the store and you walk up to that counter and the way that you greet that person behind that counter, they appreciate you when you speak, when your body showcase value. So if you're listening and you're in an environment that's a mental hazard to you, you're attached, you're attached to places or things that depreciate your value. Today is a good day for you to make shift happen. It's time for you to make that shift today. I said it a few weeks ago. Later is a dream killer, and someday is a self-imposed roadblock. The value that we place on ourselves oftentimes usually are in places others place on us. Charles Schwab, he said, and I quote, when a man put a limit on what he will do, he has put a limit on what he can do. How about starting right now, speaking to your own self? I am strong. I have purpose. I am confident. I will be victorious. For me, I use affirmations each and every day. That's how I start my morning, speaking those daily affirmations into myself. And basically, you can use these affirmations to start programming yourself to be confident and successful in everything that you do, simply by repeatedly telling yourself that you will live healthy. The more that you tell yourself this, your mind will begin to believe, what you tell it, and act, and the more that you tell yourself it, your mind will believe it, then you will start to act upon it, and eventually it will manifest into existence over and over in your life. There's another quote from Cherie Carter Scott that says, ordinary people believe only in the impossible. Extraordinary people visualize not what is possible, but probable, but rather what is impossible. So basically, instead of them visualizing what is possible, they also visualize what is impossible. And by visualizing the impossible, they begin to see it as possible. Once we realize and start to appreciate our value, we quickly detach ourselves from people, places, and things that are a hazard to us mentally. This is when we basically start to move beyond the lack that once, that lock that once placed, once was placed on our mindset, because we are now living freely. We no longer are living with unhealthy boundaries, and we are now healthy. We're where we can experience a healthy mind, body, and soul. So I hope this message has inspired you to plant your roots in an environment that is nourishing for your growth, one that embeds positive vibes to your mindset. Each one of us were birthed with purpose. Unfortunately, sometimes we find ourselves in places or involved in things that leave us unbalanced. If you don't take away anything else from this podcast, just remember to always love yourself enough that you will know and appreciate your value. Doing this will protect your character and being pulled into hazardous environments. So doing this would definitely protect your character, and you will never get pulled into those environments that's, a hazardous to your thinking. So your environment basically sets the tone for all areas of your life, basically personal, physical, spiritual, emotional, and professional. But one of the main things you have to do, you have to uproot yourself from the toxic soil that your life is rooted in order to live a healthy life. It may not be easy, but it's essential. I'm telling you, it may not be easy, but it's definitely essential. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. It was short, but I felt like it was powerful. Very short but powerful. Yes. Uh, Darlene, thank you for watching. Um, yeah, definitely environments cripple us. It easily cripples us, if you're in a tainted environment. And I learned that years ago, that it took me to move all the way across the country in order to get in a place where I could breathe, and I could breathe fresh air so I could start to think of, not where I want to go, but also be able to see clearly where I had went in life from being in a tainted environment, what issues I had brought upon myself because of the choices that I had made, the people that I had connected with that was more hazardous to me, not only mentally, but physically as well. So, yeah, it's one of the things that, this may not be for you. It may be for somebody that you are connected to. But yeah, one of the main things that we have to do is disconnect ourselves from those tainted environments and learn to get into an environment around people that's nourishing to our growth, people that's going to pour into us and help add value to us, and not people that's going to depreciate our value. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. uh Tap in to me on social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. They're all on the Life Structure with Eric. Be sure to share this on your page. If and sometimes sharing it just don't do it justice for to get the people that need to see it. So go in there and tag people. Go in the comment section and tag people that need to see this. I'm just trying to, if I can just save one person, this podcast was all worth it. So help me, create structure in other people's life by leading them to the Life Structure platform. Hey, if you have some loved ones that they're just kind of standoffish from counseling, sometimes they hear counseling and they start to think they're weak. But if you have some loved ones, especially males, send them my way. If you have some females, I have some females that I can connect them with. But hey, you know, tomorrow isn't promised to any of us, but if we just live for today and try to rescue one person, we've done a great thing in the eyes of God. So, with that being said, thank you guys for tapping in. Love your Life Structure fam, and we'll see you next week. Blessings.